Kai is an ugly, pathetic, emotionless loser who gets teleported into an alternate reality of his world. In this alternate reality, the humans have lost the Great War, and the other races are ruling over them. Being the protagonist, Kai eventually comes across a sword that could get him back to his original timeline. Will he be able to achieve his goal? At a mysterious place, Kai is standing with a sword as he witnesses a demon being chained. Noticing him, the demon literally begs to set her free as Kai deems this a perfect scenario if she was stuck inside a washing machine. Just then, he gets back to his senses and realizes that a demon is asking for his help, even though they have been at war for centuries. For this is how the world actually functions as he fails to comprehend why doesn't anyone remember the original world settings. In the present, Kai is examining some graveyards while his comrades are waiting for him. They keep urging him to get it over with, but Kai doesn't give a shit about their opinion because they are woke feminists. In this world, demons, angels, mythical beasts, and demi-humans were at war with humanity in the past, and they cannot allow another great holy war to take place. For this reason, Kai's country is responsible for monitoring the graveyard where demons have been sealed. After examining the graveyard for 300 seconds, Kai gets back into the vehicle and they head back. On their way back, he scolds his comrades for being irresponsible, just like you couch potatoes. Upon reaching back, Kai and his comrades proceed with their training as he goes up against a beast and fails to defeat it. His comrade turns off the system as soon as she notices that Kai might hurt himself. They then talk about some hero named Prophet Sid who defeated the heroes of other species and sealed them. Despite this, they have no proof that Prophet Sid even existed, just like your crush's feelings for you chumps. With this, they discuss the present they will give to their friend Jean, who is supposedly the youngest officer to be selected for the headquarters. As they are discussing all this, Kai receives a message from Jean to meet her and keep this a secret from their friends. This makes them suspect that both of them are dating. The following day, Kai reaches the location where he meets Jean, who actually wants to buy some presents for them because she is leaving the following week. She further asserts that this will be the last time they will meet because Saki and Asheron's military service will be over by then and they'll be regular civilians. After they are done with shopping, Jean mentions the time when Kai's schizophrenic met Prophet Sid in his childhood. At that time, he decided to become an officer who will protect humanity. She then asks Kai about the future, and as they are conversing, the world around Kai starts distorting, and a mysterious voice announces that the world reincarnation has been activated. Just then, Kai gets teleported to a post-apocalyptic world where he comes across an actual demons and pisses himself. Seeing him, the demon attempts to launch some projectiles, but Kai pulls out his weapon just in time and negates his magic. The demon fails to comprehend what just happened because a measly human negated his magic. This infuriates him and he activates another spell to burn him. But Kai dodges his attack and ambushes him. He shoots his bullet at point blank and kills the demon. The bullet he used this time was a modified drape bullet that targets minors. Reproduces mythical beast breath. He is also glad that he is not as useless as he looks and can actually fight demons. Just then, another demon appears at the spot and fails to comprehend how a measly human can defeat a demon. Without thinking anything, the demon attempts to launch an attack on Kai. But some other humans appear at the spot and save his sorry ass. The human grabs him into their car, and Kai immediately recognizes her as his comrade Saki. Saki, however, fails to recognize him, and even the other useless guy Asheron doesn't recognize him. They inform him that they are soldiers of the resistance, but Kai doesn't know shit about this world and asks them about it. Asheron tells him that humans lost the Great Holy War that took place 30 years ago and are now living hiding from demons. They take Kai to an underground city named Neovashal, where the remaining humans are living. Upon reaching there, Kai further asks the reason humans lost the war. In response to this, they inform him that the other races had their heroes that overpowered them immediately. This shocks Kai because Prophet Sid doesn't exist in this reality, just like your crush doesn't exist in your DMs. As they are conversing, the main forces return to the city and the citizens gather around them. The commander has also returned, and it turns out that the commander is none other than Jean. This shocks Kai as Saki and Asheron introduce him to her. At this point, Kai is devastated because even his childhood friend doesn't recognize him. He attempts to remind her of him, but she doesn't give a shit about him and leaves. Kai even points out the fact that she is cross-dressing as a male even though it isn't Pride Month, but it still isn't enough to make her remember him. After all this, Sharon lets him use his room because he believes that Kai is way too tired to think straight. Later that day, as Kai is studying some documents, he realizes that everything is the same except that there is no record of Prophet Sid and him. He then discusses another interesting fact, which is the existence of graveyards even though humanity has lost the war. He questions Seki and Sharon about them the following morning, but their illiterate asses don't know shit about them. With no other option left, he borrows the keys from them and decides to go on a side quest. Upon reaching the graveyard, he notices that the gate is open and enters without thinking anything. He keeps walking and eventually comes across Sid's sword. Just as he grabs the sword, a voice warns him to not relinquish this sword, which is named the Code Holder. Suddenly, he gets teleported into another dimension, where he comes across that sealed Baddie. Seeing her, Kai immediately realizes that she is not a human. She questions his identity and introduces herself as Rin. Kai wonders if she is a demon and decides to help her nevertheless. He blindly trusts her just like I trusted my pathetic ex when she told me she loved me. Anyways, he uses his sword to break the chains, but fails. He even uses the bullets, but all in vain. With no other option left, he summons the code breaker and breaks the chains effortlessly. This releases the Baddie and she falls in Rizz's arms. Suddenly, she gets up and starts shouting at Vanessa and declares that she hasn't lost to her. She even deems Kai a low-rank useless demon and launches thunder magic towards him. Kai, however, uses the code breaker to slice the magic, making it disappear. He further clarifies that he is a human, not a demon, which shocks her, and she apologizes for the misunderstanding. She explains that her resentment towards demons made her believe that he was also a demon. Realizing that she also hates demons, Kai deduces that she is not a demon and questions her race. The Baddie, however, refuses to reveal her race and expresses her gratitude for saving her. Kai then introduces himself and asks if she knows where they are. The Baddie tells him that she was finding Vanessa, and before she knew it, she was sealed here. This shocks Kai because Vanessa is actually the hero of demons. This basically means that the Baddie is also overpowered AF. Just then, a weird demonic robot appears behind her and sprouts some random nonsense about the awakening of Fate's singularity entity. She ambushes both of them, and realizing that they don't stand a chance, Kai grabs the Baddie's hand and runs away. Kai, however, is slower than my ability to read the room, and the Baddie gets captured by the eye with sussy tentacles. Upon capturing her, she activates something called Zero Code and starts absorbing her. Kai, on the other hand, is watching all this like an NPC and realizes that he has to do something. He then uses the code breaker and frees the Baddie from the tentacles. The robot also recognizes the sword as the Forbidden Sword and wonders what it is doing here. With this, Kai takes the Baddie and teleports back to the original world. Just as they get back, the Baddie hugs Kai, which turns him on. She starts crying like a bitch and tells him that no one has ever done something like this for her, and it made her insanely happy. She tells him that the other races refused to accept her because her melons were too big. The demons, in particular, treated her really badly, and that's why she got into a fight with Vanessa. Kai also tells her that no one remembers him in this world, and that he comes from a world where humans won the war. But in this world, the demons are ruling over the humans. This shocks the Baddie as she tells him that the humans were winning the war when she got into a fight with Vanessa. The demons also mention the arrival of the humans' hero. Hearing all this, Kai tells her that they are the same, and with this, they leave the graveyard. Suddenly, the Baddie falls to the ground because she was way too exhausted from her battle against Vanessa. Kai wants to take her to the human city, but she refuses, stating that she hates humans. Kai, however, wants her to trust him, and she eventually agrees. Later that night, Kai and the Baddie have successfully reached the human city after facing some difficulties, but the fact that she can hide her wings made things a lot easier. While Kai is pondering the code breaker, the Baddie suddenly dashes out of the shower, completely naked, and tells him that the water won't stop running. Seeing this, Kai immediately gets a boner and wants to get freaky, but he controls his nasty desires. After all this, the Baddie complains that the humans are quite unfair because they get to shower in hot water and have comfy beds to sleep on. At this point, Kai is confident that this world is an alternate reality in which the results of the Great War are inverted. Hearing this, the Baddie comments that all they need to do is to somehow get back to the original timeline. Later that night, the Baddie wakes him up and informs him that the demons have invaded the city. Just as he gets outside, Kai realizes that humans are really miserable, just like me when I found that she was talking to other guys. He also realizes that the only person who can play the part of Sid in this world is him. Meanwhile, Saki and the others are fighting demons and are getting their asses whooped by them. Just then, Kai appears at the spot and saves them. The Baddie also contributes to the battle and helps him. After they have defeated all the demons, Kai reveals that he does not belong to this world and is from another timeline where the humans had won the war. Saki and the others refuse to believe this and deem him an autistic loser. Just as they are talking about it, Asheran receives a message that the Scab demons have managed to escape. He rushes to inform the headquarters, while Seki urges Kai to accompany them, and he agrees. Upon reaching there, he reveals everything about himself to Commander Jean and the other captains as well. The captains refuse to accept his bullshit, but Jean questions him about their relationship. He tells her that they were comrades and childhood friends, and how she wanted to become like Og and Dur. This shocks her, and she ends the meeting. Later that night, Jean summons Kai and the Baddie to her room. She tells him that she still cannot trust him enough, but they want his help. According to her plan, she wants him to coordinate with the other human cities and repel the demon army from capturing Neo-Vashel. Kai and the Baddie, however, are against this and suggest that they ambush them instead and defeat Vanessa. He volunteers to take on Vanessa alongside the Baddie, which shocks them. This makes them question the reason he is doing all this for them, even though he is from a different timeline. In response to this, Kai asserts that his friends Seki and Asheran are fighting for their lives in this world, and even if he manages to return back safely, he won't be able to face them. He wants Jean and the others to hold the demon army for a while, so they can defeat Vanessa. Jean agrees with this plan, but she asserts that they won't be able to reach the demon capital since it is quite far away, and all of them would be dead before reaching there. Suddenly, her lackey reveals the presence of a secret passage that leads to the demon capital that no one knows about. Jean's father had kept this a secret from her because he didn't want her daughter to ambush the demon capital all alone because he knew women are dumb AF. Following some strategic meetings, the mission begins. As Kai and the others are discussing everything, the Baddie is chillin' like those kids who do nothing in a group project and explaining why she has fallen bad for Kai and that she doesn't want him to get Isacade. After all this, the mission begins, and on their way, Seki cannot comprehend why she has to fight Vanessa alongside Kai and the Baddie. Kai explains that they are the only ones he can trust as backup and asks her to stop being a pusey and do what she signed up for. Upon reaching there, Jean delivers a boring-ass speech to motivate her soldiers and wants them to fight till their last breath. With this, they ambush the demon castle and the demons immediately sense them. Kai and the Baddie, however, take care of the small fries and pave the way for the others to enter the stronghold. The Baddie then informs them about Vanessa's location, and with this, they ambush the demon stronghold. As they are heading towards Vanessa, Jean's lackey has realized that the Baddie can actually use magic. Suddenly, they come across a chibi demon who summons a demon even uglier than my ex, which ambushes them and captures a human. Seeing this, Jean's lackey frees him and is not as useless as she looks. Jean and the others continue their ambush and come across a room where humans are trapped. After freeing them, they enter a room where Jean gets attacked by thunder magic. But much to everyone's surprise, she comes out unscathed owing to her elven suit, made from a magic item named Sacred Light Garment. She instructs Kai and his team to proceed ahead while they will stop the demons. Kai hands over some armbands to Saki and Asheran that will keep them hidden from demons, and explains that he brought them from his world. In reality, the Baddie had used barrier magic that hides their presence, but cannot hide this secret. The four of them eventually reach a control room where Seki and Asheran are stationed in case something happens. Kai and the Baddie leave them behind and approach Vanessa. On their way, the arm starts ringing even though her barrier magic is still working. Just then, they come across a demon who reveals that they have been using the human surveillance system and have been using humans to operate them. Hearing all this, Kai braces himself for battle, but the Baddie grabs him and throws him out the room. She uses a barrier to keep him outside and urges him to battle Vanessa. In the meantime, the demons comment that her mother probably belonged to the streets because she doesn't belong to any race. This infuriates her and she unleashes all her magic. Meanwhile, Kai reaches Vanessa's throne room where she welcomes him. She tells Kai that she is a succubus and that they both can have some fun together. Kai replies like a Chad saying, "No, unlike most of you simps." This makes Vanessa surprised, saying that her charms didn't work on him. Meanwhile, Jean fights the demon effectively and kills it using a mythical bow. Just then, another demon attacks her, but Rena protects her. Kai tells Vanessa about how, in his history, she was defeated by a human named Prophet Sid. This triggers an unpleasant memory, confusing her. She attacks Kai with magic, but he uses a magic dissipating bullet to stop her attack, surprising her. She then hits Kai with 2 powerful attacks, hoping to kill him. Kai survives despite her attacks, using Prophet Sid's sword. The entire building shakes as Vanessa attacks Kai, prompting Rin to rush over to protect him. Just then, the same cyborg from earlier, when Kai protected Rin, appears and holds Vanessa, trying to kill her because hearing the name Sid triggered a change in its mind. This enrages Vanessa, who uses an attack that nearly kills the powerful cyborg. Vanessa says that a mere dog of Alfrea will never take her head. The cyborg creature then retreats. The Baddie, scared by Vanessa's attack, tells Kai that the Vanessa in her world was not this strong. Vanessa tries to heal her wounds but fails, then turns to Kai and the Baddie, declaring that killing them is her first priority since they are weaklings. Just as Vanessa defeats the cyborg, she aims to kill the Baddie and Kai next. The Baddie intervenes and rushes up to Vanessa, hugging her, and attempting to trap her with a spirit spell called Shadow Prison. However, Vanessa is too strong for such a weak spell and destroys it easily. She blasts the Baddie away and then tries to kill her with magic. As Vanessa is about to strike her, Kai intervenes only to get his back whooped by an explosion magic, sending him flying and killing him. The Baddie becomes overwhelmed with sadness and anger after seeing Kai dead. Vanessa mocks her, asking if she's going to escape alone, leaving Kai to rot. The Baddie, now fully enraged, amasses a purple aura around her as she's about to turn Super Saiyan. Vanessa is astonished as the Baddie heals her wounds and emits energy from every race. Vanessa calls her appearance chaotic, like every other demon, further triggering the Baddie. Fueled by her rage, the Baddie ambushes Vanessa, hitting her repeatedly until Vanessa finally catches her fists, mocking her even more. Vanessa tells the Baddie that Kay died because of her and that he was trying to save her when he got himself killed. She taunts the Baddie, calling her weak and unworthy. In a desperate move, the Baddie uses her most deadly spell as a last resort, casting a poison that affects both her and Vanessa, intending for them to die together. Vanessa gets poisoned with black fluid oozing from her body orifices. However, the spell suddenly reverses. The Baddie is shocked and confused, asking why this happened. Vanessa explains that she does not have enough magical power to defeat her. She reveals a wide-range hex on her nest that protects her from the curses and spells of different races, saying that she should be triple poisoned by now since she contains the essence of multiple races. The Baddie feels an overwhelming sadness, realizing she isn't able to avenge Kai. Vanessa then hits her with another explosion spell, further emphasizing her superiority. As Vanessa unleashes her explosion spell, Kay's plot armor intervenes and he gets up. He rushes to protect the Baddie and holds her in his arms, shielding her from the blast. Vanessa is astonished to see Kai still alive after enduring 2 of her powerful explosion spells. She stands before him angered that he survived. Kai, determined and unwavering, challenges Vanessa once more and reflects on how the code holder's sword protected him both times, granting him the resilience to stand against Vanessa and defend the Baddie. Vanessa gets triggered, belittles Kai, calling humans weak and unworthy compared to other races who have heroes worth acknowledging. She declares that humans have no one of value among them, and that's why she must kill Kai, a worthless human loser. Vanessa then casts a powerful spell called Death Planet, and after that another spell, causing fire to rain down upon Kai. However, the lights suddenly turn off, putting the roof into darkness. Vanessa struggles to trace Kai since humans lack magical energy signatures. She notices the code holder's sword moving and strikes at it, only to realize it's the Baddie controlling the sword as a distraction. Taking advantage of the darkness and the confusion, Kai sneaks up behind Vanessa. The Baddie, coordinating with Kai, throws the code holder's sword toward him. Kai grabs the sword in mid-air and slashes Vanessa, delivering a fatal blow. As Vanessa falls to the ground with her life flashing before her eyes, she remembers Sid and recalls how he spoke of world reincarnation and a new history. Vanessa reveals that she was actually friends with Sid, and he entrusted her with the code holder because it had the power to reverse world reincarnation. Vanessa's final moments are filled with memories of her past, her friendship with Sid, and the burden of the code holder. She reveals the hidden truths and mysteries that Kai and the Baddie had never known, leaving them with a deeper understanding of their world and the complex history that led them to this moment. Vanessa, in her final moments, tells Kai that she will meet him again as a succubus and love him to the point of making him cry. With Vanessa's defeat, the Urza forces finally take over the city, defeating the demon's hero. News of the victory spreads, and humans around the globe celebrate. Jean thanks Kai, informing him that they will appoint another executive to handle the reconstruction work, since the older residents know the city better. She tells Kai that she will accompany him on his adventure to defeat other heroes and take over the rest of the world. Kai is pleased to see Jean acting mature, as the Jean from his world was not as mature. Jean, puzzled, wonders what she did to be called childish. Jean then rallies her army, motivating them for the upcoming tasks and preparing them for the challenges ahead. The victory over Vanessa marks a significant turning point, and with renewed determination, the Urza forces gear up for the next phase of their journey.